Is Testbirds really a way to potentially earn more than $50 per test you do, or is it a waste of time? My name is Michael, and many viewers have asked me about this platform, so I decided to take a closer look, and in this Testbirds review, I'll give you an inside look and reveal both the pros and the cons, because let me just reveal right away that it definitely has both, and then you will know exactly what to expect and can find out if this is the right opportunity for you or not. So let's start by going over who can join, and you can join Testbirds from more or less all countries. However, just be aware that you need to speak very good English to be able to join. Sometimes there might be tests in other languages, but overall the majority of tests will be in English. Also, what you just need to be aware of, that in my experience anyways, when I signed up, then you get an email, you need to confirm your email by clicking a link, and it kind of just took me back to the main landing page or home page, so it was a little bit confusing, but you have still confirmed, so then you can just go back to the homepage and then you can just log in with your email and the password you just created. So I just wanted to share that because that can be a little bit confusing. So that's how you actually get access. But let's now then talk about how you can earn as a member and how to get started. So I have now logged into Testbirds and I have created a new account to be able to show you exactly how it works and what you need to do when you first get started. And the thing is that you have like a profile here. You need to go and fill out your profile first because that can help you to qualify for more tasks. And as you can see, there are quite some things that are blurred out and I cannot show you exact tasks or exact tests or examples because with testing platforms like this in general, there's a lot of confidential information. So I'm not allowed to show you like an example of how to test or do a test or anything like that. There's, for example, an entry test, and of course I'm not allowed to show you here how to do that. So that's just, I wanted to explain why there's so many blur things. That's usually how it is with these user testing platforms. But what you need to do is fill out your profile and then there's an entry test, and you can see I would get €5 for that. It's not quite enough to earn enough to get paid. We'll talk about that in just a bit, how you can get paid, how much you need to earn and all that. But overall, you do get paid for the entry test, and I do like that because many user testing platforms and things like that where you have to take an entry test, it's often unpaid. But I also think it's fair because the entry test can take somewhere between like 45 to 75 minutes, so it's quite a big time commitment, and then €5 is not even, you know, necessarily that high depending on where in the world you are. So I think it's only fair that they pay that much, but you need to really pay attention. And if you're completely new to user testing and all that, it can be a good idea to go to this bird school where they will take you through exactly how it works to submit these bug reports and all these things, and that can be a good idea to learn a little bit. So it takes some commitment and there's no guarantee that you will qualify. You need to really pay attention and do the entry test properly to be approved and get access. And then you can see, then you will start receiving invitations. You will get them inside here via email. Also, you can see, for example, here I would get up to €35 for participating in another one here. Again, I can't show you the exact details of it, but I can show you overall what they are saying about the type of test so you can get a better idea about what you would need to do. So in the FAQ section, they explain a little bit more, and this I definitely can show because it doesn't show specific tests, but different types of tests you might be asked to participate in is, for example, bug tests. So here you will hunt for bugs or technical errors in, for example, software you are testing. And you are paid for every bug you find, and the payment per bug will depend on the specific project. Just be aware that for many of these bug tests that they don't accept duplicates, so you need to go through a bug report first and see what others have found, because if you find the same, you won't get paid for it. So that's a little bit strange because that means that that can, you know, be a little bit hard. So there you should make sure to participate as early as possible, because then there's not such a big chance that others have found these technical errors. But that's one way. They also have like regular usability test where it can be like how easy a product or website, something like that is, where you provide feedback. You know, sometimes it can be text, sometimes it can be where you record your voice, it can be ratings, different things to improve different products or services. And then you have the last one where it's a combination. So these are the type of tasks that you can be asked to do in here. But let's talk about this. How much can you overall earn by doing this? Because as you can see, it does take quite a bit of commitment. It can be fun and interesting, but what is the earning potential and how can you get paid? Let's talk about that next. So let's start to talk about how you can receive your payment, because that's always important before you start working on a platform. As you can see here, it says clearly that if you live in a country that's a part of the SEPA there, then they can pay directly to your bank account. And that is usually within the EU, as you can see. But it also does offer to pay via PayPal if you don't have an IBAN number and a bank account with that. But it also very clearly says that in some countries that is not possible, but then you can just contact them and then they will find another way to pay you. So I really like this because there's some platforms where you can join no matter the country you live in, but they don't actually offer a payout option you can use, and they are not willing to actually work with you to find that. So I think this is really nice that they even write that. Just contact us. We will make sure to find a way. If you work for us and your work gets approved, we will find a way to pay you. I do like this, and overall some good payout options. But just be aware that you can't get paid until you earn €6, which actually won't be hard if you manage to complete the test. Most of them will pay more, as you will see some examples of like what you can earn overall. But I'm assuming that this is also because you can't just take the entry test and then take out your earnings. You need to earn more because you get €5 for completing the entry test if it gets approved. But that's to make sure that people don't just come and get that and then leave, but that people that take it, are serious, and actually want to also do other tasks. But let's talk about the overall earning potential then. So how much you are going to earn, of course, depends on the test you're participating in. For example, if you do bug tests, of course, if you don't find any bugs, you won't get paid no matter how much time you spend. But as you can see, there are some where you get like €1 for very low severity bugs and €5 for critical bugs. So if you find a lot, you can earn a lot. But there's also this usability test where you can earn up to like €50 or more per test. You also just saw I got invited for one where I would get €35. So it does have quite a decent earning potential. Just be aware that there's no guarantee how often you will be invited to participate in tests. It's not necessarily daily. In some countries, it won't necessarily even be weekly or not even monthly. So it's not something you can rely on as like a permanent source of income. Once you participate, yes, it pays quite decently. Some of them not that well if you're not good at finding bugs, but overall, yes, the pay is decent. But you should overall always make sure to join several usability or user testing platforms if you like this type of work, because then you will get access to many more options and will more regularly find different ways to earn. I do have a list of the best user testing platforms also on my website. I'll leave a link to that below, so then you can go and check that out. So to sum it all up, Testbirds is a legit user testing platform. It is quite user friendly also, it pays quite decently, but it does take some commitment because you need to also be willing to invest quite a bit of time in just this entry test, and the tasks in general do take quite a bit of effort. It can be a fun and interesting way to earn a bit extra. Just do it with the right expectations and don't expect that you will find a lot of work every day and not necessarily every week. So as mentioned earlier, also always make sure to use several different platforms if you like this type of work. I do have a list on my website I mentioned. I'll leave a link below of the best user testing platforms. There you can find alternatives, so you can find more options to join also and find full tutorials and all that. I also have a full written review on my website of Testbirds, so if you want to know even more details or just see it in writing, you can also find that below. I'll just leave a link to that also. And if this video helped you, make sure to hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.